Hello! Hi! Nandyan pala kayo. 1 second lang, lagay natin to. Ayan. Ayan, andyan na pala kayo eh. Andyan na pala kayo. Kamusta kayo dyan, ating mga kaibigan, mga kameta, mga alam na this, mga maraming opinion, onion, mga yan. Sige, kamusta na kayo dyan? Mga ka-Isko! Ayan oh, may show force din ng mga ka-Isko dyan. Kamusta kayo dyan? Kamusta naman yung mga ka-GMRC? Yan. GMRC in the house. Mga ganon. Grabe yung nangyari. Oh. Talagang dami nagsilabasan. Pampanga ba yan? Di ba stronghold ni, ano yan, nila Tita Arroyo yan or something? Di ba sila, dapat sila Tita Arroyo yung mga, sabi nga ni, ano yung si Gaza ba yan? Yung siya, siya yung Lord of the Rings, siya yung Lord of Politics natin, mga ganon. Tapos, sa Pampanga pa nangyari yata. Ang laki Sa Pampanga ba yan? Oo. Ba't di ko nakikita yung comments nyo? Nasaan na kayo? Ala. Oh, wala na kayo Ayan, ayan. Ayan na. May kaka-comment lang na ngayon wow late reaction talaga kayo Para sa tayo na reaction, nakatingin ng gano'n. Oh, andyan na pala kayo. Kamusta kayo dyan? Yan, yan. Sige. Oo nga, laki nang nangyari doon sa Pampanga. Kamusta naman dyan? Kamusta naman? Kamusta naman? Kamusta naman? Yung ba yun? Totoo ba yan? Pampanga ba yan? Wow, parang ginalingan talaga Ginalingan, ginalingan. May new record na, may new record na. Lampas na daw ng 200,000? Lampas daw yung record ng Pasig? Nako po, ibang level, no? Ibang level. So, alam mo kung ganito, bakit ganun? Ba't parang may delay ako? Di ko kayo nakikita. 1 second lang, i-reset natin to Sorry. Mukhang may problema tayo sa internet, nagdi-delay ito Ulitin natin Take 2 tayo Parang di ko nakikita yung comments niya paano pa tayo? Ayan na, kakalabas lang yung mga comments. Sobrang delayed. Ulitin natin ulitin natin. Take 2 tayo. Take 2, take 2. Ayan na, lumalabas na. Ayan na, ayan na. Ayan, ayan, ayan na, ayan na, ayan na. Sige, sige. Ulitin natin, take 2. Parang pag hindi hindi ako kampante Pag hindi hindi magandang pasok. Ba't ganun? Parang delayed yung mga responses, reaction dyan. Ayan, ayan ayan na. Okay, okay. 220,000 daw? 220,000 daw dumalo. 240,000 narinig ko dyan. Sana natalo? Natalo yung record ng mga Pasig is Pink? Ilan ba yung Pasig is Pink? 140? 160? Ay, ibang klase, ibang klase, ibang klase Ibang klase, natalo yung record Talagang 40,000, 50,000 yata dito sa Manila. So ngayon, wow, 200 plus thousand. So mukhang yung million strong, no? Yung million strong pink rally ay hindi imposible. At alam ko, in the coming weeks, mukhang parang multiple cities ang gusto mangyari or something like that na parang simultaneous. Diba? Parang may Pangasinan din nangyari recently. Pangasinan, Pampanga, etc. Medyo papunta ng solid north na medyo liquid na. Oo. Tapos may plano din na Manila is pink. And then tignan na natin yung meeting de avance, kung anong mangyari dyan sa meeting de avance. Sabi ko nga, dapat yung meeting de avance, hindi this applies to all camps. I'm sure the BBM camp will try to project this image of unity, kaya yung meeting de avance will be somewhere na perhaps all classes, lalo na yung ating mga kapatid, galing sa mga less privileged backgrounds will be able to join. So yun. So I'm sure the Marcos camp will try to put on a show of a unity talaga at maraming lalabas dyan. Alam na this. So, if yung pink ay mga sila Leni, kung gagawin lang nila yan sa Makati or ganon, tapos mga dadalaw lang mga BC class, wala masyadong DNA, ay nako, yan, problema yan. Hindi magandang political strategy yan. Kahit maraming pupunta na 100,000, tapos puro mga class B or C lang, ay wala rin. Dapat talaga somewhere, at alam ko may plano na sabay-sabay Dapat nga, 'di ba, yung ginawa nila yung parang elections dati si pangalan niya? Ay, si Jessica Soho, yung kaibigan natin, kapuso natin. Di ba meron pa siyang hologram? Yung may ginagawa siyang hologram tapos biglang lalabas yung mga tao. Ay, lalabas siya tapos may hologram. Dapat ganun ang gagawin, hologram. Baka si Enrile pwede pang sumali dyan sa mga BBM campaign, mag-hologram siya tapos lalabas siya sa iba't ibang lugar. No, feeling ko dapat yan ang gagawin nila, hologram. And actually, saan ko nakuha yung idea na yan? Kay Mélenchon, yung French leftist candidate for the presidency, third time na, pero mukhang hindi gumana this election ulit. Yun ang ginawa niya, nag-hologram siya sa iba't ibang city, in Marseille, in Nice, etc., Bordeaux, Paris, etc. So it kind of worked for him, at least to a certain degree, kaya nga nag-pick siya as the most competitive leftist candidate. So baka, yun din ang pwedeng gawin nila, nila Leni, nila BBM, yung iba't ibang kandidato. Now, obviously, and bago natin pag-usapan, si Papa P, si Piolo Pascual, titignan ko yung Twitter niya, May Twitter na pala siya, Aba, may Twitter si Piolo Pascual, Yung pala, Piolo for Leni, hashtag kay Leni, totoong unity. Ayan, meron pa siyang mga side comments, yung unity ng alam natin. Na perfect attendance! Yeah! Good Machiavelli! Perfect attendance! Oxford man! Yan, sabi ni Piolo, ang totoong unity ay pagkakaisa ng taong bayan. Pilipino para sa kapwa Pilipino. Kay Leni Robredo, siguro tayo dyan. Uy, sobrang batang-bata si Papa P, pero mas bagets tayo dyan. So si Piolo talagang Twitter boy na rin siya. Yun. Okay, bago natin pag-usapan yan, i-analyze natin yan at saka yung celebrity support and all. Balikan natin itong issue ng Isko and Leni. Nako po, may nakita tayo kanina, may kinall out tayo ng mga kakamping tao pero nagdidilawan moves, 'di ba? Yung pupunta daw doon sa Isko campaign tapos tapos loser ganon. This kind of puerile stunts. In fairness naman to them, they deleted their tweet, which I felt was not really mature or helpful. In fact, yun din nga yung sinasabi ng mga anak ni VP Leni. Di ba sila mismo yung mga anak ni Leni nagsabi na huwag kayong mga style dyan na mayabang at pobre, ganon. Because it reflects badly on the super vast majority of kakamping na hindi ganon, di ba? So, meron silang pinost na ganon na parang pang-asar sa mga Isko people doon sa rally nila Isko. Ay, hindi po maganda yan. Wag ganon. Isko supporters are among the nicest people ever. And I can tell you from my personal experience, my podcast colleague, of course, that doesn't reflect in terms of my, but I've collaborated with people all across the political spectrum, di ba? At my podcast colleague si Mark Gamboa, for instance, of course he works with Isko and all of that. Super nice guy. We do not agree on many things. Sometimes more openly, sometimes behind the scenes we disagree on certain issues. But he's super nice. Everything is so respectful. Our guests, we invited, folks, supporters of Kakamping, etc. Very respectful, very nice, di ba? Yung mga supporters ni Isko, pag may kinikriticize ako kay Isko dun sa strategy niya, dun sa mga inconsistency, or kung may sinasabi siya na parang, I'm not sure about that, yung mga response yan, sir, wag naman ganon, sir, ito yung konteksto, ganon. Hindi sila nag-insulto, bayaran, walang ganon. So, in fairness naman to Isko supporters, a lot of them are really, they just want something different, neither this nor there, something different, etc. And you're gonna alienate a lot of those people. A lot of them may have Leni, in fact, as their second preference. And now, galit na sila, di ba? So, when you make a political stunt, make sure you don't badly reflect on the rest of your fellow supporters of a candidate. So, this kind of dilawan move, sorry for using the term, I don't think it reflects very well. And in fairness naman to the Isko people, I've seen the pro-Isko people, their responses were hindi bastos. Parang politely nag-disagree sila na this is not the way. Para naman kayo supporters din ng unity, mga ganon, tama naman yung ganon na criticism. So yun, I mean, of course, you're entitled to criticize Isko is inconsistency, campaign strategy, etc. Okay, you're entitled, pero wag ganun na magta-troll tayo ng isa't isa sa campaigns pa natin. Ano naman kayang feeling kung pupunta yung mga BBMers dyan sa mga kakamping na campaign tapos manggulo-gulo sila? Ang pangit, diba? Hindi maganda yan. Or vice versa. Diba? Respect my opinion, diba? Ganun dapat ang natin. So in fairness naman to these folks, they deleted. But I had to call it out. Kasi pag hindi naka-call out yung mga ganitong excesses, it reflects badly on the whole campaign and all. So yun, wag yung mga quote-unquote dilawan moves, diba? Yung mga, alam mo na this, diba? And I mean it in a very specific way, right? This is not to cast aspersions on the supporters of liberal progressive movement. And as I said, marami dyan na supporters ni Leni ay pink, hindi dilaw. Right? They're really there for Leni. They're really there for Robredo. They're really there for the Naga model. They're really there for the more progressive policies and progressive wing of the campaign behind Leni. I'll just say it openly. Right? Alam ko may mga hindi natutuwa sa akin. Marami nagagalit sa akin. Ina-attack tayo. Uy, si Darian, DDS yan. Secret DDS yan. Or si ay, nako. Ayan, yung mga ganyan attack nyo, nagmi-mirror effect lang naman kayo ng other side. Wag ganon. If you're claiming the moral high ground, paninindigan mo yan. Show that consistently in terms of what you're doing on the ground, on Twitter, etc. Because you're gonna negatively reflect on the rest, diba? Parang hindi maganda yung lighting, medyo hindi maganda yung natin. Actually, sa to, mas maganda yung natin. Complexion natin. Kulang yung budget, diba? Hindi ka, nag-overcast day. Kanina maganda sana yung lighting natin. Anyways, putting aside our aesthetic concerns. So, ito pa. Let me be brutally honest also. I'll put it very bluntly. Again, I've been saying it, sasabihin ko ulit. Kasi mukhang hindi nakikinig yung iba dyan. Maraming wishful thinker. Maraming tao dyan na hindi nakikinig, nag-echo chamber. Kung nanood sana kayo ng kameta ni Hidarian, natuto pa kayo sa buhay, na-analyze nyo pa yung mga data. Medyo umangat pa yung level nyo, di ba? Ng analysis natin. Puti pa nga yung mga taga-ibang camp na nanonood sa atin But si GMRC, biglang may comment dun sa Twitter ko. Di ba? Mga ganun naman tayo dyan Ganun naman tayo dyan. So yan. Okay, alright, okay. So ito I'll put it bluntly. Leni cannot beat BBM on her own. Ayan, magalit na kayo sa akin. There's no way she can beat BBM on her own. She will need two other things to happen, which depends on two other candidates that are not named BBM. Okay? Keep on saying this. Hindi si GMRC. Magstay na siya. Sige na, enjoyin mo na, sir. Sige na, ikaw na. Sincerity. GMRC. Sige na, ikaw na, sir. Ikaw na best. Two other candidates will be critical to whether Leni can beat BBM. Number one, Isko. Isko, by not withdrawing, staying in the race, and rising, actually benefits Leni. Bakit ka mo? Because yung overlap ng support base ni Isko ay kay BBM. Kung hindi kayo maniwala sa akin, hindi kayo maniwala sa survey, hindi kayo maniwala sa data, naku ba, sige. Go around, tanungin yung mga pro-BBMers. And then tanungin mo sa kanila, anong tingin mo kay Isko? 90% will tell you, at least, okay din sila kay Isko. 90%. Now, punta ka sa mga BBMers, yung mga first choice na sila. Tanungin mo, is there a circumstance under which nabobotoyin mo si Leni? Good luck. Maghanap ng 1 out of 10. I will dare you. Sige, wag kayo mag-Cali survey, mag-mall survey kayo. Sige, mag-classmate, batchmate survey kayo. Hindi po. Ang overlap ni Isko ay kay BBM. Karamihan. Hindi kay Leni. So if Isko rises, it helps the whole race. It helps Leni. So Leni people attacking Isko is good for BBM. Magugustuhan na ng mga BBM yan. Sige lang, mag-away lang kayo dyan. Isko rising, if he rises by 5 to 10 points, that will shave off 3 to 8 points out of BBM. I bet you. So if you're pro-Leni, dapat, siguro, ang gugustuhin mo, gumandang performance ni Isko. In fact, Isko was at around 15%. Why is he down to 8%? Kinaya ni BBM, malaki dyan. Mga 7-6% na napunta kay BBM. So if he regains that back and more, the race will be more level. Ganon kasimple lang yan. So, Isko's success is good for Leni. Because the overlap of Isko is more with the other side than with Leni. Common sense. Ba't di nakikinig? Ang daming nga gano'n dyan na naman yung mga... Alam mo kasi, ang problema, marami dyan mahilig mag-echo chamber. Nakikisama lang sa mga sa mga Viber talks, sa mga FB talks. Kung andun rin yung mga nilang nila, yung mga tawag dyan, mga ka-Google Trends. Yan na lang term ko dyan. Google Trends people. Yung mga maghanap ka na ng maghanap ka ng kung ano-anong datos dyan para lang ma-confirm. Ang tawag dyan, confirmation bias club. Naghahanap lang kayo ng kaek-ek dyan para lang ma-confirm yung biases nyo for your emotional well-being. Well, that's good for you, but that's not gonna change reality. Ang realidad po, si Isko ay more overlap with BBM. At marami sa BBM supporters, okay sila kay Isko, kay second choice. Not kay Leni. Sila yung never Leni people. Makinig. Mag-aral. Makinig kay Kameta. Nako po, ito na naman kasi tayo eh. Wag na kayo mag-GMRC. Mag-ano na lang kayo, mag-meta-meta kayo dyan. So, in short, not only is attacking Isko in the puerile, stunty, cancel culture, blah, blah, blah. It's not only ethically questionable, if not repugnant. It's electorally, politically self-defeating for the supporters of Leni. As simple as that. Bakit hindi nakikinig? Dahil nga nasa echo chamber. Dahil hindi nakikinig kay Hidarian. Dahil ayaw makinig sa data. Dahil gusto lang echo chamber. Ayan kasi tayo. Ayan kasi tayo. Ayan kasi tayo. Ayan kasi tayo. Ay nako, ako po ay familiar sa lahat ng camps. Nakausap ko yung tao supporters of all camps. Of course, you know naman saan ang puso natin, etc. But, I keep open communication channels because you have to learn. That's how you learn. Kung kasama mo lang, yung mga kakaano mo lang, well, you will never learn in life. You will never grow. You will never grow. Your analysis would not grow. And in my case, alam mo naman tayo, international. We analyze Viktor Orban in Hungary, Marine Le Pen in France, Erdogan in Turkey, for me to understand President Duterte. So a lot of comparative analysis I have to do. I have to study other countries para maintindihan ko yung nangyari dito. Kasi yung mga populace ng mga third world countries ay napaka-similar. Yung mga tatay, naku po, napaka-similar yung mga tatay. So, the same way, pagdating sa Pilipinas, I talk to people all across the political spectrum para you get the sense, marami pong never Leni dyan sa BBM. You'll never get them to your side. Never. Never. As in, never. Never. But, pwede sila mag-shift sa ibang candidates. At marami dyan, kay Isko. Pero, so, may mga soft voters dyan, more than half, kay BBM, na marami dyan pwede pumunta kay Isko or other candidates. Pero very few ay pwede pumunta kay Leni. That's just the reality. I mean, yun lang talaga. But Leni can still pick up numbers from other candidates, etc. Right? Even some overlap with Isko, I would say. But not as much as the overlap between Isko and BBM. Alright? Kailangan ba i-memorize yan? Ilang beses ko sinasabi yan? Okay. Yon. So in short, if Leni wants to beat Bongbong, she would want Isko to do very well in the next 2 weeks. Because Isko, ang layo niya kay Leni and super malayo niya kay BBM. So even if he picks up 10, 15 points, Leni might still beat him. And might have a chance to also beat Bongbong Marcos. As simple as that. So the only way for Bongbong Marcos to go to 35-40%, which is my sense is the maximum that Leni can go in the next 2 weeks or so, 35-40%. In fact, that some would say that's on the more optimistic end of the note. It's for Isko to rise. As simple as that. Sige, magalit kayo. Sige, atakin nyo. Sige, mag-message kayo dyan. Alam mo, eto let me warn yung mga nagme-message sa akin dyan na, oh, don't write this, don't write that, you making this week, you making that. Like, who the heck are you to tell me what to write and not? No one tells me what to write. No one tells me. I think for myself. I'm a sovereign mind. Excuse me. Okay? Naiirita ako sa mga ganun eh. Yung alam ko, well-meaning sila, pero yung mga nagme-message, I will block you if you keep on messaging me like that. Nakakairita yung mga ganun eh. Ayaw mo matutunan, ayaw mo makinig sa akin, ayaw mo magbasa at mag-level up, don't bring me down to your level and then impose your point of view on me, okay? Naiirita ako sa mga ganun eh. Ayaw nga matuto, tigas ng ulo, ikaw pang ginajudge. Walang hiya. Ay nako. Ayan, mabait tayo, mabait tayo, mabait tayo. So yan, real talk. Real talk. Gusto niyo ng ano? Gusto niyo ng ano? Gusto niyo ng ano? Echo chamber? Yeah, punta kayo sa mga vlogger na iba dyan. They will feed you your fantasy. Happy kayo dyan. Tapos sa dulo, nandyan lang kayo sa fantasy world. How are you different from the other side? Mag-ano na lang kayo dyan. Maglamano na, talano, mag-ano. Sama-sama na mga yan. Ay nako. So real talk. Isko's success is good for Leni. Simple as that. And attacking Isko doesn't reflect good on Leni's campaign. So those people who are claiming to be kakamping and all, wag ganyan galaw. Not nice, not good, not good. And yes, I would say, personally, yes, Isko supporters are very nice people. Very nice people, yes. I have nothing against the candidates, by the way. Isko has been super nice to me. Ma'am Leni has been nice. Marcos, we were together in a talk years ago sa one of the universities. He was super nice to me too. So, I mean, I have nothing against the candidate. President Duterte was nice to me, right? I mean, I met leaders and all. Hindi ako yung tao na, uy, na-meet ko maganda. Bait niya sa akin, tapos biglang pro na ako. Hindi tayong ganon. Excuse me. We meet all. But at the end of the day, we have our own stance. Diba? So, yon. So, if naghanap kayo ng vlogger na ano lang, magbigay ng echo chamber sa inyo, go ahead. Wag dito. Super vlogger dito. Super vlogger. Super vlogger, meta vlogger. Hopefully mag-meta vlogger. Yun ang goal ko mag-meta vlogger. Ngayon, super vlogger. Nagustuhan niyo yung sporty look ko ng isang araw. Parang konti naman yung views. Nagalit ako dun Ganda ng sporty tsura natin. Paris Saint-Germain, ganun. Tapos, konti lang yung views. Tapos, konti lang stars. Konti lang yung stars. Wow, konti lang stars. Alam mo, hindi mura yung ano na yan, PSG shirt na. Okay. Seryoso na tayo. Okay, Now, person number 1, Isko. Isko's success is good for Leni. As simple as that. Why? Because he has more overlap with BBM. As simple as that. Okay. Number 2. Sino mahalaga? Hindi si GMRC. Wala yan. Pahala siya dyan. Stay there, sir. Enjoy mo na yan. Pacquiao. Si Pacquiao po ang mahalaga. Pacquiao will be very, 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 very importante. Mucho importante. Because, two things. Una-una, sa lahat ng other alternative candidates, si Pacquiao may pinaka-rapport at napakagandang relasyon, even despite being rivals, with Vice President. Duly elected Vice President, presidential candidate Leonor Leni Robredo. Ulitin natin. Duly elected Vice President, presidential candidate Leonor Leni Robredo. Sa lahat, Pacquiao ang pinakamaganda ang rapport kay Leni. Now, that's very important because Leni doesn't have a good rapport with Mr. GMRC, right? With your man. Ganun. Tapos ano? Okay. Wala na. Banat style na tayo na to. Ano nangyari sa atin? Nanood lang ako doon kasi nag-interview siya kay Tatay Digong noon, di ba? Na nilaglag ni Tatay si Junior. Ba't si Junior? Yung anak ko naman pwede manalo. Galit na galit siya. Kaya pinanood ko si Banat style. Yun. Okay. Uy, kamusta naman yung mocha dance moves kay Isko, Meron din siya, show of force din sila, mocha girls. Yeah. Yun, Okay, balikan na si Pacquiao. First reason is rapport. Because wala yung ganun pagdating kay Mr. GMRC. Your man. Okay. Second, overlap. I need to back this up with more data. But my sense is more overlap ang meron dun sa base ni Pacquiao, I think around 12% in Mindanao, with Leni than with Junior. Feeling ko hindi ko feeling. Alam ko. Yung yung confidence interval lang, hindi tayo sure. So, mamaya na yung kay Papa P, Focus muna kayo dito. So, Pacquiao doesn't only have more rapport with Leni, Pacquiao's base may be more amenable to vote for Leni if Pacquiao, nako po, ito na, sabihin na natin, Senator Pacquiao makes an unprecedented move of self-sacrifice in the interest of a certain conviction, right? By withdrawing, and not only withdrawing, but endorsing Leni in the final weeks of the race. Will it happen? I'm not very optimistic. Malabo. But it's worth discussing because I think it could be a game changer. Now, you could say, well, Pacquiao has 7-8% support. What can that be? Oh, that can be a lot. That can be a lot. Because I think 6% of that can go to Leni. So that can easily put Leni in the 30s territory. But it's more than that. It's also the psychological effect. I think once an unprecedented thing like that happens, it has a multiplier psychological effect. Wow, So baka may chance talaga si Leni, kaya nga nag-withdraw. I mean, this never happened. Nang withdraw yung mga candidates towards that, wow, si Pacquiao pa. Then, I think yung mga bandwagoners dyan, was like, wow, malay mo, baka nga tama yung Google Trends. Baka nga, tama yung Google Trends. Baka nga si Leni talaga, diba? So, even if di ako naiwala sa mga Google Trends analysis na ek na yan, it could have an intersubjective psychological effect. So it will not only be the 6 to 8 points of Pacquiao, but potentially even more than that. Soft voters of other candidates suddenly say, lalo yung Gen Z, lalo sa Mindanao, oo nga no, baka nga Leni nga. So, boom, buya ka siya. So, review natin. Yan. Mainit. Medyo dumami yung mga kasama natin. Kamusta kayo dyan? Thank you sa mga nagbigay ng mga stars, mga new friends natin. Medyo maraming naka-tune in ngayon. Ulitin natin. Number 1. Sige, ulitin na. Rephrase. Leni cannot beat Marcos Jr. on her own. As simple as that. Because this race is very different from 2016. Right? But for her to beat Marcos, therefore, actually, 2 other candidates will have to make certain big moves. Isko has to pick up, and potentially Pacquiao has to withdraw and endorse openly Leni. Those 2 can radically change this race. This could be the ultimate October surprise, in this case, April surprise of Philippine politics. Again, am I optimistic? Do I think it's highly probable? But this is why we're doing what we're doing. That's why my politics is the art of possible, including making what seem like impossible probable, at least, if not totally realizable. Right? Ayan. Ay, nyames. Okay na. Review natin ulit Talagang classroom tayo. Yung mga late dyan sa likod. Hey, sat. Ayan May isa nga factor, si Isko. Diba? Isko doing better is good for the race and good for Leni by extension. And Pacquiao might be the guy who could help in a semi-united opposition. So kung may may united opposition na potentially dyan. Alright? Do you follow me? Do you follow what's going on? So, see, nakita nyo, I'm not speaking fast like usual, mga ganun. Talagang, talagang step by step tayo dito para you can follow the logic here, no? And it's not only logic, it's backed by data. Okay? So, yon. Magalit na kayo. Sige, magalit na kayo. Sige, message niyo ako. Hindi, Google Trends. Sabi ng Google Trends naman na Ito na naman, alam mo yung parang naka-Ferrari ka, tapos pinipilit nung door ng Fiat doon sa Ferrari mo. Hindi talaga. That's not how you do it. Hindi. Anak, mag-analyze na ako ng French politics. Wala na mga Google Trends sa France. Doon na lang ako sa France, mag-French politics na lang ako. Ayan yan din naman nangyari. Hindi nang sinabi natin ng weekend. Macron na naman yan at saka si nanay. Panyari pang hindi na National Front, National Rally. Okay, gets nyo na? Ayan, sige maghanap tayo ng mga troll dyan. Sino nagtatroll sa akin? Sige, mag-troll ka, sige. Ayan, salamat kay Riza joining us from Qatar. Uy! Friends! Friend! Kamusta, friend? Kamusta ang World Cup? Kamusta ang extra room natin dyan? Baka naman, baka naman. Baka naman, November, pwede tayo dumalo dyan. World Cup. Okay, alright. Yan. Masaya din yung World Cup na yan. Okay. Now, bago kayo magalit sa akin, balikan natin to, ha? Wow! Papa P! Yun, talagang mga artista, mga celebrities, nagsilabasan in support of Leni. I mean, bitter yung kabila. Kaya naman dahil pumunta sa mga rallies niyo dahil may mga artista kayo nga. Well, may taste naman tong ibang artist na nag-taste din yung mga tao. Uy, meron naman Tony Talks yung kabila. Diba? Uy, nag-trending si Tony Talks. Oh! Ayan tayo mga pictures ni Papa P and Tony Talks. Yeah, nagsama sa akin. Magagalit na kayo sa akin, ha. Panoorin niyo yung kay Papa P, ha, yung pinost niya talaga. Meron pa siyang mga shades, may mga pa-shade, may mga serving the tea, sir. Mga ganon. Mga unity, mga ganon. Yan talaga daw ang perfect attendance platform. Good Machiavellian. Oxford man, unity. You know. So yun, malakas si BBM, denying it doesn't change the facts. And bakit? Ay nako, ulitin natin. Sige, ulitin natin ng konti. Sige, I'll give you a... Hindi, bukas na. Kasi may article ako bukas about this topic. Balikan natin na. Kasi, mamaya, sige, bukas na. Marami tayong sinabing controversial ngayon. Magagalit na kayo sa akin. Ano natin? Tawag dyan? Ang tawag dyan? Dapat piecemeal. Baka masobran kayo. Pag marami akong sasabihin ng bigla, magagalit na sa akin. Okay, so nag-gets na. Nag-gets na yung mga sinasabi natin dito. Uy, may crowd na 80,000 daw yung lumabas kay Isko. Yan ang show strength din ng Isko. Yun. So, si Isko, may Mokagausan supporters. Si Leni ngayon, may supporter ng bago. Si Papa P. Tapos si BBM. Andiyan pa rin si Tony G. Tapos si GMRC. Okay, tama na. Next topic. Ayan. Kamusta na kayo dyan? Tama na. Okay, I'll stop na kasi marami na tayong sinabing controversial. Interaction naman tayo. May mga tanong ba kayo dyan? Bukas ko na ituloy yung mga ibang sasabihin ko. Para hindi kayo mabigla. Baka wala na. Baka tayo dyan. Cancel culture. Mahirap na this. Pero yun alam mo yung million strong pink rally, pwede talaga mangyari yan. Alam mo, pag go talaga yan, naku po. Pwede yan. At saka yung impact nun, wow. I mean, yung meeting the advance ni President Duterte in 2016 was wow. That was quite something. Like, wow. And, there were things the President said during that meeting advance, parang in fairness, asking people to understand our Muslim brothers and sisters, explaining some cultural issues. That was very brave of President Duterte. I mean, I'll give it to him, right? As we said, does he have the competence? And as I said, yung drug war na yan, ay nako. Okay,